most famous haunted houses tend to be in the United States, where there are many reports of horror stories involving homes in various parts of the country. However, Brazil also has its own real and scary haunted houses. As a supernatural enthusiast, I decided to research and bring haunted houses so that you can learn about their stories. From north to south, Brazil is full of macabre stories involving haunted houses. But the question is, do you have the courage to meet them? If the answer is yes, stay until the end. Welcome everyone to our Terra Obscura channel. The mansion located in the interior of São Paulo is known for its intriguing stories. Visitors and residents claim to have heard screams, moans of pain, and calls for help, in addition to having witnessed ghostly apparitions and other supernatural manifestations. The history of the mansion may be related to these events, as it was originally built as a slave dwelling. With more than 50 rooms, 3-meter-high doors, and attached slave quarters, the structure is a reminder of the mistreatment suffered by slaves. It is not difficult to imagine why some spirits may still be present at the site. This famous building in the state capital has a history full of crimes, including robberies and murders. There is a story about a body that was thrown down one of the elevator shafts. Additionally, there are reports of people claiming to have seen ghosts in the hallways, like a dark-skinned woman with long hair. During the night, it is possible to hear the sound of their high heels passing through the floors of the building. The streets of São Paulo hold a dark history, which involves the little castle on Upper Street, the scene of a murder. Alvaro Reis killed his mother and brother before taking his own life, but forensics found 2 bullets in his head, which is rare in cases of suicide. Police suspect that a 4th person may have been involved in the crime, but it was never proven, and no one was found. The house remains abandoned and is considered haunted, with frequent reports of sounds of fights and cries for help coming from inside the property. This rural property has a dark history associated with it. There are reports that a slave cemetery existed nearby and that they were subjected to brutal punishments by the foreman before being killed. It is believed that the spirits of these slaves still haunt the place, with the sound of whips cracking, screams echoing, and even the noise of the sugarcane mill being heard. The tranquility of the peaceful city in the interior of Rio Grande do Sul was broken when a family reported suffering from supernatural phenomena. Reports included banging on the walls, rocks falling from the sky and inside the house, objects moving without explanation, and even signs of possession in the 15-year-old daughter. After these events, the family decided to leave the residence and never return, but the mystery remains unsolved. In 1920, Henry Ford, the owner of Ford, acquired an area of land in Pará with the aim of cultivating rubber trees and producing rubber. However, the project was halted after the end of World War II and practically abandoned buildings. Now the entire town is haunted, which is even worse than a haunted house. Visitors claim to see strange figures around every corner of the desolate locations, but I can't find anyone. In 1935, there are reports that a woman had committed suicide inside the house. Since then, there have been rumors that his spirit still inhabits the place, since it is possible to hear inexplicable sounds, such as moans and laments, that seem to come from nowhere. Furthermore, visitors claim that kitchen utensils move on their own, as if they had a life of their own. It seems that the previous resident of the house was a calm person, before reports of supernatural activity began to emerge after his death and the abandonment of the site. The new family that moved there soon noticed strange noises, how they move by being dragged and objects falling frequently, in addition to ghostly apparitions which made them unable to stay for long and leave the residence. The residence of leader Bento Gonçalves now houses the Farroupilha Revolution Museum. Although it is a popular destination for tourists and history lovers, there are rumors that the guerrilla's spiritual presence still permeates the environment. This mansion is famous for its tragic history. In the 18th century, a family slave poisoned her employers and their children as a form of revenge, resulting in their deaths. Furthermore, there are confirmed records of Father Manuel Pinheira's death within the walls of the house. Due to these tragedies, there are reports of people claiming to have heard footsteps, doors that open and close by themselves, and also ghostly apparitions in the place. Quiet sound. The story begins with Maria de Lourdes' family living in the house. After her parents' death, she was placed under the care of a guardian who, unfortunately, he stole his property and treated him badly until the end of his life. It is said that the mysterious noises and frightening laughter emanating from the house are possibly caused by the spirit of Mary that still roams there. Maybe you remember what happened. On February 1st, 1974, a fire in the building resulted in the deaths of 191 people and left another 300 injured. The tragedy itself would be enough, but there are reports that a teacher had murdered his mother, and sisters were there even before the building was constructed, and then committed suicide. These two events were enough to consider the place cursed. If you are a horror and suspense enthusiast, be sure to check out the Dark Earth channel. Sign up now to connect with other genre fans and receive in-depth analysis and discover spooky new masterpieces. To the next.